Hey y'all, this is Gerald. I didn't get a chance to, there was some more information that I did initially, but you know the devil's a liar. So the first video that I did, I lost my connection. I don't know why, but I'm a firm believer. I guess the devil don't want some people to wake up and hear the truth. Excuse me. So I wanted to put a part two, how you can tell if a man loves you. Let me throw this disclaimer out here too, because I don't want my queens to use this information as a way to really be negative or trite, because if you take that position to use it as a weapon, you're going to pay a severe price with your life. Because you know God is love. He's all about love. He wants you to truly come into your own season to have the life intended for you. So you know I can't stress that, you know. But I believe that you guys are worth it, so I'm gonna put it out there. I just want to add some more stuff on how you know if a man loves you. And really, you can tell if he's the one. Alright, as I mentioned before with the other videos, here's another way that you know a man loves you. Right off the bat, you will watch this man evolve. You can't do that with a lover, because a lover will not give you that access. A lot of them don't even know what they're doing next week because they're not grounded. But that connection with the one, or that person is significant, and that could be a soulmate, it can be, but you just know in your spirit, you just know that, no, this guy's special. And that's why you can't find it in your heart to move on. I mean, you can physically be with anybody. We all know that. But when it comes to affairs of the heart, you hold them into a high regard. But here's the thing. Here's the contradiction. You're so fragile, you won't even tell them. You won't tell them how you truly feel. So what happens is he will go through this gauntlet, and to some that may be amusing, because you're saying, look, watch me, I'm gonna puppet him, I'm gonna make him dance. But what you fail to realize, every time you do that, that takes one string away, because if he's spiritually grounded, he's discerning, guess what? He already knows his boundaries. He already is using his discernment, and he also knows that you're not ready. You're not ready, and that's why some of you have not received a ring. And even if you did receive a ring, it didn't last, because the foundation that got you two together was on a physical nature that was really a soul tie. That's why it didn't have the nature of growth. That's why when you think about them, those that were not ready, you see them in one light, and it's usually you on your back. This is all he's good for, is stimulating your template. But the one, you get jealous. How dare that they live their life without you in it? Why? Because that's ego and pride telling you, you know what, I want to have my cake and eat it too. And what happens is, every time you take a position of deception, non-truth, which is really showing that you're more fragile than anything, because that's all you know. That's all you know. So you're going to only go off of your environment. That's why you keep attracting the men that just want to run up in you and lie to you. How do you know if this man loves you? What will happen is you will start to hear maturity not only in his voice, but you'll also see it in his physical position. You'll see he's changed. But what has not changed is his heart, because he still sees your worth. Ladies, you know I'm not lying, because if I was lying, you wouldn't be listening to the Strawberry Letter. Right? God's trying to tell you something. But we have free will, so you are accountable for your actions. How do you know that this man loves you and possibly could be the one? See, all your slings and arrows, your wounds, first of all your transgressions, your exploitations. First of all, what you don't know is this man may have made a covenant with God to walk with you, because he wants to have the right to say, I watched her grow old. Why? Because he sees your worth. So he will never take a judging heart. He won't. For what? His intentions is to change your name. But if you're not ready, he will not interfere in your development. And trust, and here's the kicker. My queens, I want you to know this too. All those desires that you may have in your head that are felt, that resonate through your body, down to your toenails, because he loves you, he's the one that's supposed to supply that. That's why you don't have to go look for a man, because God has brought him to you. Some of you, not even know it, has prayed to the Creator. God, I just want a man that will unconditionally love me. Well, he can't unconditionally love you unless you love yourself. That's why you keep attracting men that only want to take away from your life essence. That is why some of you, unfortunately... Okay, this is how you know. Here's a good example. You've seen this. How many times you seen somebody, your girlfriends, she married, right? She married. She's with the guy halfway decent, but he's committed. And then one day she says, you know what, I want to have a baby. I'm ready to take that step. But the problem is, she can't get pregnant. She can't get pregnant because something in her heart is preventing it. Something in his heart is preventing it. What you are witnessing is the protection of the yoke. As you already know, as I've spoken before, sometimes God will take broken people, bring them together to bring a child forth into the world, which is actually the blessing that is going to teach both of them to be a better and authentic person in God's eyes. But because the devil doesn't want that, because we all know that a child is a creation of innocence, purity, and divine love, you ain't going to have that. Because you don't love yourself. And what happens? Because of frustration, because there's no trust, there's no commitment, one of you decide to split. One of you may even decide to cheat, which is worse, because you're doing such a disservice to yourself. You're basically giving someone free opportunity to your heart, mind, and body, which never turns out right. What will happen is, next thing you know, because of pride and ego, you go and doing you. Then, when you least expect it, that person has got a baby. Ain't nothing worse for a woman not to be able to conceive, especially if that was somebody she wanted to be with wholeheartedly. But the fact is, it's not a curse. You weren't ready. Prime example, look at the story of Abraham and Sarah. That's why they couldn't produce at that time, because their steps were not pure. That's why she had to wait. That's why she had to be chastised. Her mind wasn't right, so her body didn't respond. Until she changed her perspective, could she inherit the right to be called a mother. That is why you see a lot of times now, you see women late in their 40s and almost 50s still having kids. That's not by chance, that's by God. Don't get it twisted. Here's another, and I wanted to reiterate, here's another reason, here's another way you know, like I said, you might not even realize you may had already been in contact with your husband and did not know it. You'll notice that as you go through your seasons, there will be certain blessings given. But when you look at them, their life has been totally transformed. But there's only one issue: you ain't in it. And the thing about, not to make like I'm sorry, but I'm a firm believer God is the greatest comedian ever, because He uses every opportunity to get you to see that, hey, I am a jealous, loving God. All things are through me. So when you take it upon yourself to go seek a man out, you're basically giving the devil the opportunity to really rape you, to leave you emotional barren, to give you an affliction that you can't get rid of. And what's the common denominator in that? Your heart, mind, and body has just added another trauma to it that you have to work through. That's why God says He is the way, because when you trust Him, you will discern. You will fortify your boundaries, and you will be able to see those who have your true intentions compared to those who only wish to just really truly complicate your steps. That's why some of you cannot get to that level yet, because you are still repeating the cycle. The only thing that's different is the man. You're doing yourself a disservice. As you know, because it looked good don't mean it's good. The devil can manifest whatever you want, and as soon as you give your free will, he is going to put you in hell. You might attract a stalker that, like, nah. You might attract that man that, because he is limited in his communicational skills, he uses his hands to go upside your head. Well, last time I checked, you're not sponsored by Everlast Boxing, so why are you dealing with it? He may use his finances to keep you financially restricted. That's why you think 50 Shades of Grey don't work. Why do you think taking the position of a gold digger or a kept woman? Let me tell you something. If for those women that make a conscious decision to align themselves with a man that is not yoked, let me tell you something. You have more or less walked in a imprisonment that you will have a hard time getting out. Because once he's placed the investment in you, he is not going to allow you to walk away from it. He intends to collect every red cent. And God forbid you take a position of trying to buck the system. He will break you. He will break you. Because he's banking that you don't see your worth. He's banking that you are blind. He's banking that you stay broken so he can put his thumb on you. That's why sugar daddies exist. That is why cougars exist. That is why bad boys exist. But guess what? That man that truly has your best interest, he's none of them. He's above them all. Why? Because he don't judge. He don't judge. He ain't got to judge. All he got to do is follow his higher power, because he knows that when it's all said and done, the life intended for him, God gonna give it to him. God gonna give him the woman that's supposed to walk with him too. I've seen that play out a lot. And God forbid, you take a position of ego only to watch another woman live your life. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. You know, but you got to be honest with yourself to speak your truth and trust God. Trust Him, because God is not going to forsake you. He's not. He's not. You are His child. But if you're not going to walk with Him, you cannot receive His blessings. That's how it is. But that devil, he'll bring you the closest carbon copy of it. Why you think about your girlfriends. She got that fine dude, but he an asshole. Every chance he gets, and then let me go there. All right. Here's how you know a man loves you. He will never call you out your name. I don't care what you do. He won't. Why would he call you out of your name if he's trying to walk with you? He won't exploit you either. So when you take a position to think like a man, guess what? You just took 5 steps back. And that's also a telltale sign that you're not emotionally ready. That's why you've got bad boys. Bad boys usually don't have a wife, but they got many wifeys. They got a lot of children from soul ties. Why? Because they don't love themselves. So if they don't love themselves, they can't love the woman they gave their seed to, which hence perpetuates the generational curse. You're better than that. You queens, you know. Stop. And let's go there. I'm going to throw this at you too, because you need to hear it. Wow. I'll be John Brown. I just got a sign through synchronicity right now. I'm going to tell you something else, but I just saw something that just blew my mind. Okay. Now, for those people that follow astrology or follow numerology, everything that you see or hear, listen, let me tell you something. Astrology is nothing but interpretations of mankind through the Bible. The 12 signs are nothing but the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? There's a science. I'm telling you this for a reason. Let me get back to my point. There's a science with the way you live that there is a numerical compound or component on what you will receive and you will feel. Now that's on a totally different topic. I might go in and I might not. But if you take your name fully and then you add the letters up, so there's 26 letters in the alphabet. Each letter is a number, and you add that up. So A would be 1, and so forth. Well, when you put my name down, you come up. My life number is 8, which is, you invert it, is the infinity sign, which is God. I am the 12th sign. I'm a Pisces. So I'm God's messenger. I'm seeing correlations in everything that I do since I embrace my walk. Man, I've got chills going through me right now. But there's a reason why I'm telling you this. So as I'm giving you this now, you know, wow, let me get myself together. Ooh. Thank you, Jesus. All right. I I stay prayed up throughout my day. I use my discernment to guide my steps. And God has revealed things that I need to know when I need to know it. No matter good or bad, I'm able to get the message. So, just now, as I'm giving you this information, because it's coming from a place of purity from my heart, because I want each and every one of you, my queens, to have the life intended. I'm giving you this knowledge. Now, what you decide to do with that, that is your free will, because you need to discern. But just know that everything I convey comes from spirit, right? I'm a firm believer of angels and demons, as well as spirit guides. Everybody has you have angels around you. You have your spirit guides. Your spirit guides could be someone of significance that was in your life that has passed on, maybe a grandparent, whoever, someone who unconditionally loved you. They want to make sure that you're protected. That's why it's very important that you pray. That is very important that you discern and place your boundaries, because look, we're in the midst of a spiritual warfare right now. You already know that. Look at society. Now, here's the reason why I'm saying this. So, as I'm conveying this, right, I happen to just look here on the floor, and I've got, you know, I like stuff. I like the autumn and winter is I like to dress. You know, if I didn't have to go to work, I wouldn't wear jeans. You know, I'm a grown man. But I bought these boots about a month and a half ago, right? There you go. I know they're a little dusty, but I've got them. Love them. So, as I'm conveying this message to you, I happen to look, right? And I've got the other mate. I haven't even touched nothing. I'm right here, right? The mate's on the brain. So, I'm going to see if I can do this without messing you up. Okay, alright. So look down. Alright, you see it? Alright, work with it. You see that boot? Now, as I'm looking, and I'm conveying this message, I just noticed something that I had not. See, this boot, look what is found on my sole. You see that? You see it? You see that 8, right? Okay. So that validated me that somebody that needs to hear this is going to get it. That's my angels or my spirit guides are letting me know, yes, the message will go out to the intended target, the intended person. They're going to convey that. They're going to receive it, and they're going to be grateful. I'm not playing with you. My life number is 8. Where I live at, numerically, is 8. My credentials are 8s. See, I'm not playing. Look. You see that? Yeah, you see that, right? Hold on, let me make sure I get it. Alright. So, alright, yeah. Other way, Gerald. There you go. You see those, right? Alright. But if I turn it on the side, what do you see? You see them? The 8s are the infinity signs. Alright, here's my point. The infinity sign, number 8, is unconditional love. Infinity is forever. God is love. Unconditional love. That's why the number 8 never breaks. There's never a break. So, sender, receiver. It's constant. And that's God. So when I saw that, that just validated, thank you my angels, thank you my Father, that somebody, you're going to feel what I'm conveying in your soul. God is trying to talk to you. it's time for you to open that heart. Now, let's go there with that. So this is how you know. If a man loves you, even though he knows his worth, he will reflect through his life. He will actually see the parallels in where you are, and will not take a position of judgment. He knows that. Why? Because now you're dealing with the yoke. You understand what I'm saying? When you talk about the yoke, we're talking about two souls being one. For those that are married, you know what I'm talking about. The two souls, you and him, will become one spirit together. That is why it's very important, my queens, I say to close your legs, because when you allow yourself to be caught up in a heated passion, you are actually exposing yourself to a demonic influence, because you don't know what's found in someone's house, you don't know what's found in someone else's heart until you see their actions, and that's what keeps you like, oh hell no, I didn't know he was like that. Why? Because that was an illusion. Why? Because he was trying to convert you to think like him. That's why, my queens, when you see your girlfriends, they get with somebody new, and that guy's blown her mind to the point that she will take on his behavior traits. She will talk like him, she will act like him, she will dress like him. Why? Because his spirit is trying to become like him. That is why it's very important to guard your temple. That is why it's written in the Bible the way it is. That is why it is not in your benefit to go seek a man out, because the man that you go after may be the man that may put you in the ground. He may be the man that may give you an STD you can't get rid of. Why? Because he wants to come from a place of hate. So if you're in a situation where it's dysfunctional, you need to get up out of that. I don't care what that man does. Until he learns to love himself, he will never be any good for you. Notice that's the opposite of what a man that loves you. Because if a man who really loves you, no matter what is going on, no matter what you're doing, he's going to stay true to his convictions, because he knows how he got there. God placed him there. But he's not going to interfere in your life, because that's not his place. And guess what, my queens? Remember I told you about the fourth season in my other video? And I said you're going to go through some periods of pain and stuff. If you want to have a life intended for you, every little thing that you did, every one of them, every secret, every act, you got to speak it out. So if you got somebody in your life that loves you, that wants to grow with you, you can't have no secrets. I'm going to tell you why. Because now you're talking about somebody's health, and that should be open. So if you got somebody that's trying to invest in your life, and you'll know, because God will show you. But when you decide to have that big conversation, you need to be open, honest, and courageous, because you don't want to ruin another person's life. If he loves you and wants to walk with you, he don't want to judge you. He want to prepare you so y'all can grow. See, the worst thing that you can do is try to come off like you something that you ain't. And I know, ladies, you say, well, you know what? If I turn around and I know I'm not a good girl, everybody got flaws. That's an excuse. The man will respect you through your steps, but you won't find the emotional peace until you talk about it. Because guess what? He wants to be your best friend, not your girlfriend. That's why y'all know the cardinal rule. Don't talk about your man from your girlfriend. Don't do that. Because if he's so good, why can't she have him? And what you fail to realize, she probably trying to get at him. But if he loves you, he's not going to disrespect you. That's why, I say this in the backside. Do not, I repeat, do not put yourself in a position where you are trying to entice or seduce somebody that's tied to him. That's the worst thing you can do. You will never get a ring for that one. And I know women say, well, you know what? If he could get away with it, he would sleep with his girl. He would sleep with my girlfriends. And guess what? Your girlfriends would let him. But if he loves you, he ain't gonna put himself in there. If anything, he gonna try to find a way to tell you you need to cut your ties with them. Like I said, sometimes your worst enemy will walk with you as long as they can to break your heart. I'm talking about your girlfriends. That's why it's not good to take advice, a married advice or relationship advice from your friends, your family. If you're going to take some advice, my queens, take it from your dad, because you're his daughter, so he's going to protect you. But you better be able to listen to him. You got to. I mean, you deserve to have a life that's intended. I know I'm talking to somebody. I know you right now, you're rubbing the inside of your thigh because you got Chief J Strongbow then blew your back out. But then you wondering why he won't love you. Why? Because you are serving a purpose. He just playing the game. But guess what? And here's a light in the tunnel, my queens. You might want to consider this. When you decide to put boundaries up in your life and close them doors to your temple, God is going to bring the one in your life, and He is going to be able to satisfy every desire that you can fathom in your mind. Why? Because God has made him for that job. Do you hear what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to go search. The man, the one, will he will do whatever he has to do. He will climb the highest mountain. He will try to walk across water to get to his mate. So if you are selling yourself short for a stolen moment, did you hear what I'm saying? For a stolen moment, you just might as well say, I don't love myself. Or worse, every pain, every tear that's fallen, every conversation you've had with yourself, every time you have taken the walk of shame, you're like, was I so stupid? Or worse, you get clarity when you're picking your panties up and he didn't call you out your name. Just know, you're not living your life. You're living someone else's. And if they don't know theirs, how are they going to respect yours? I know I'm talking to somebody. Everybody can change except for death. That's why time waits for no one. You were not brought on this planet to suffer. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Stop fooling yourself. Stop thinking that y'all keep thinking like y'all men. Guess what? Society will always give a pass to a little boy. Why? Because they don't want him to see his worth, because he'll be a threat. Why? I mean, here you go. Think about it this way. You think society cares about you? Do you really think so? Well, if society really cared about you, why is it there are programs by the government to separate you from your mate? For those that are on public assistance, you know I'm telling the truth. You go around and let that agent know that you got a man in your life, and watch how quick they take that money away. Why? Because they know that man is supposed to be with his God-given will to be a provider, and that's what a man is. He is supposed to be your protector and your provider, and your voice of reason. And he can't do that unless you know who you are, because he's not your daddy. But if you don't know who he is, he's going to use you up like a bus transfer and throw you to the side. And 9 times out of 10, some of y'all already know. You've cut yourself out so many times, it's like, you know what, I ain't putting up with this crap. He don't deserve me. Of course he don't. Why? Because the one do. But if you don't show that work, if you don't do what's needed for him, you will never be happy. You will end up inheriting a fate like so many women. That's why the age rate is so high. Because you're letting anybody slip in. You're letting anybody do whatever they want to do to you. But here's the ironic part. This is what it blows my mind. I love you, my queens. That's why I'm telling you the truth. You need to listen. Some of you are so sensitive when it comes to porn. Yeah, porn. But you act it out with just anybody. Instead of there being a camera, you play out the scenes with your sexuality. But you expect that man to respect you. He's not going to respect you. He's going to put you in the back of his mind of what he got away with. And he's going to keep doing it until you say, no, I love myself. Stop. If you think I'm playing, this is what you do. The people that are trying to get your attention, that want to be in your life, right off the bat, say, I'm going to abstain. And I'm going to tell you, like fleas off a dog, they will all jump ship. Some of you will actually see the real them, because they're going to tell you how you feel. Especially if they started to invest in you, they're going to call you every name out of the book, because they want that ting-ting. And depending on who and how you put yourself at risk, they're going to get it. They're going to do everything they can. If they can't get it, they're going to try to sabotage your respect. That is why you got websites out there that make money off of that. That's why I tell my kings and my queens, listen, if you're having a sexual experience with somebody and you're supposed to explore safely. But think about it like this. If you want to turn around and take this to record what you did, and then you don't turn around and responsibly delete it, that man is basically saying you are worth not even what's found on the bottom of my shoe. Which is even worse. They don't respect themselves. So if they don't respect themselves, guess what? You are one of many that they've done that before, because that's a learned behavior. If you don't think I'm lying, go on your go on the internet and pull it up. Put in amateur or something, and I guarantee you'll be surprised what you see. And here's the thing that's really crazy about it. A lot of these women only wanted to be loved and was willing to sacrifice whatever they needed to feel that way. You validate yourself, my queen. But guess what? Even if that has been the case, that ain't you. That ain't you. Come on now. The person that you were, the things that you've done, you got to atone for that shame. This is the hard part. But guess what? Each one of those experiences, those soul ties, you atone for it, God will free your heart from it. Because you're walking around in shame. But guess what? The one, he there to build you up. He's saying, come on, baby. Come on, see your worth. Come on. Come on. Why won't you love yourself? What does it take? Does it take a man to go upside your head? Because you know there are plenty of them. And those are the ones that don't see their worth, because guess what? No one loved them. So no one loved them, they ain't going to love you. But if you're chasing that dollar, guess what? He said, I bought you. Oh, you mean all I gotta do is pay an electric bill and I can break their back? That's a cheap investment. You're gonna stick around until the money run out. Don't compromise your heart. I know I went way off, but I'm supposed to tell you. So you gotta make a conscious decision. And when you make that decision to love yourself, not only will God show you the way, He's going to show you what was there all along. And yes, you're going to walk through that valley. The devil's going to make you feel like you're lonely. He may even tempt your sex drive and say, you know what? I know he's a dog, he's a jerk, but I need that good stuff right now, and then I'll leave him alone. No. No. Don't do that. You gotta purge that, sweetie. You gotta purge it. Because as long as you let him in, you will never know what love really is, because you're not loving yourself. Even Stevie Wonder can see that. Okay? I'm saying this because I love you guys. I'm tired of walking around. I'm tired of, I'm trying to do God's work, and I'm trying to be the best man I can be. Because I know this, God is going to bless me with my queen. So therefore, I've got work that I have to do. I want to make sure that she feels emotionally safe. That's why I'm not rushing. What's the rush? I got a life. But trust and believe, everything I speak, my feet validate. Why? Because I know my worth and I see yours. So when you gonna make that decision? Huh? And I guarantee you, here's something I had to learn, and I'm gonna wrap this up. Sometimes God will let certain events take place to sit you down. Did you hear what I said? God will take certain events and let them come to pass to sit you down. Because He's tired of you abusing your heart. He's tired of you exploiting your body. You will never find love by way of your vagina, by way of your mouth, by way of your rectum. Your heart is where it's placed, because God put it there. But until you see your worth, and I apologize if I'm being abrasive, but the truth is the truth. I don't know about y'all, but I get tired of going to the grocery store and I see my queens so exploited. I mean, you walking out of the house and I can see everything. But because your spirit is so broken, you feel that that's the only way that you're going to attract a man. Let me tell you what. That's not the man you want. Because after he finished getting his rocks off and emotionally raping you, I ain't going to say what he's going to do physically. You already know that. He's going to leave you. And that's going to hurt. That's going to open that heart. Some of you crying right now because you know I'm telling the truth. My queens, my baby girl, let me let you know something. God loves you. When you going to make that change to claim your worth? Huh? When you going to do it? But it cannot come from a place of vindictiveness. It cannot come from a place of deception. It cannot come from a place of denial. Every time you take it upon yourself to bring pain to someone, that brings more shame you're going to have to deal with. I know I'm talking to somebody. Somebody right now is feeling the aches and pains in their body from what a man has just done to them. And all you want to do is be loved. Well, guess what? Every time you try to talk about stuff like that, you're like, I don't want to talk about that. You want to love me, you better go fix something. You better go get me that beer. Matter of fact, you want to love me, get on your knees. Only to emotionally abuse you again, when are you going to see your worth? Because I guarantee you this, if you had the courage, I guarantee you wouldn't tell your daddy that, because your daddy, you know damn well your daddy come out there with a gun. That bum be out there. You tell your brother, that bum be out of there. Tell your uncle, oh yeah, he be hurt. You wouldn't see him anymore. Why? Because they love you. So how do you know if a man truly loves you and possibly can be the one? He always keeps you in his prayers. He always wants one thing. He wants to be able to position himself to see the woman that he envisions in her heart, in his heart. He wants to be able to see that woman come to light. But it will never be done through manipulation. You got to see your worth, my queens. My kings, this goes for you too. Some of you walking around with heart is so broken, but you take a position of arrogance and say, well, she did this to me, so I'm going to do it to the next person. Don't you know you're going to pay for that? There are more things that are more destructive than an STD. And that's why I'm going to say this, and I'm going to wrap it up, because I've talked way past my time, and I need to get on the road and go to work. If you have emotional baggage and you feel emotionally unsafe, the best gift that you can give yourself is to seek counseling. Do you hear me? Seek a therapist. Put your ego out of the loop, because your ego does not want you to be happy. Your ego wants you to stay there, because if you do this selfless act, you will grow and your environment will change. If not, you are going to be a slave to a broken heart. Trust God, my family. Trust Him. You deserve so many blessings. Make this the day you make the change. Because if not, you're living life in vain, and everything that you've gone through was for nothing. All those insults, all those things that the men did to you, and you thought it was out of love. He ain't loving you. He using you. We're not going to wake up. That goes for you too, my king. That is one of the reasons why women have lost faith in us. How can she feel emotionally safe if you can't protect her? But you can't protect her because you can't protect yourself. Come on now. When are we going to wake up as a people? God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth because I know mine. Bye, y'all.